Dit is Argusoog Radio.
Een andere kijk op de wereld.
You're listening to Pateo Radio.
Welcome listeners to Pateo Radio. Tonight we have a very special guest all the way from Arkansas, and he is very familiar with numerology, reverse numerology, ancient alphabet of the runes and many other things. So I please welcome my guest, Dale Lawhorn. Dale, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Hi everyone.
Dale, can you introduce yourself to the listeners? Can you tell a little bit about your background, who you are, what you're doing, things like that?
Of course I was, I was born in Arkansas. I've lived here, my entire life. Never really went anywhere. But, and as of right now, I'm doing as far as work-wise, really, I'm doing just part-time delivering parts for an auto store. Is basically all I do, really, for work. And then on the side, I do a lot of the numerology and reverse numerology and everything that's got to do with that. And then a lot of spiritual meditation, which I believe is like the most important thing that anybody could be doing right now.
Yeah, I fully agree with that, Dale. For the listeners, maybe not everybody knows that, but you live in the state of Arkansas in the United States of America. So now we all know that our guest is from the U.S. What brought you into contact with numerology, Dale? Because when people go to your YouTube channel, they see a lot of fascinating videos, and they all go into much depth into the subject of numerology. But how did you get into contact with this subject?
I've always been it's actually the only subject I've ever been good at. Most people aren't real good at math, and math has always been the only subject that I ever had an A in throughout school. I was never really good at any of the other subjects, like spelling for sure. I'm horrible at spelling. But, so I've always been good at it. Not that I enjoyed doing it at the time, but when I had this it goes a long ways back. It's all spiritual is how I got involved into it, and it started with the if many people have seen this, I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but the video of now I'm not going to remember his name. That's another problem with the issue is I've lost a lot of my memory due to everything that's happened to me. Mm-hmm. But it was it's just all spiritual. The whole thing. I went into schizophrenia and kind of split into 3 different people. And after I went through that, I got through that, which was it was about a 3-month process from what my wife told me. It took about 3 months to get through the schizophrenia part of it, which now I've found out it's not schizophrenia at all. On a spiritual terms, it's actually symptoms of that's like schizophrenia, but they don't call it schizophrenia. But after I got through all that, I was led by a voice just like I would be talking to anybody right in front of me that I could hear as plain as day, that led me and kind of pointed me in all the directions to figure all this out.
Okay, so I can summarize it by saying that you were very good already with ciphers more than with letters, and that's by some kind of process you went through you were guided to study the dynamics of the ciphers based on numerology and all the fascinating things that come with that. Is that okay?
Yeah. It's a long process. If I was to explain it all, we'd be here all day.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that would be interesting. What I would like to do in this talk show, Dale, is to talk with you about a number of issues that come up in your videos and also questions I have myself. So maybe we can go a little bit in depth.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. For the listeners, if you go to pateo.nl, the English section, and then you click on Pateo Academia, and then you click on the name of my guest tonight, of Billy Dale Lawhorn, and you see a paper Billy and I wrote about, Dale and I wrote about numerology and the stuff we're going to talk about. So if we are going too fast, please click on that PDF file, and then you can follow it maybe a little bit better. For instance, I'm fascinated with numbers coming from names. When I type in your name, Dale, your full name, Billy Dale Lawhorn, then it adds up to 74, which equals 11, and 11 is a number of mastery. So and that's, I think that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
When I count up a lot of numbers for myself, I also end up with 11. So there is something. 11 is important to me, but also to you. What does 11 mean for you, Dale?
11, basically, it's just someone who's going through the process of full brainness, because 1 and 1 is 2. You got 2 hemispheres of the brain, and everything is to get to oneness. You have to start, from 2. It's always 2. So because you got 2 hemispheres of the brain, and so it's like 1 1, and that's the 11 that you get. And truthfully, if you wanted to go even deeper than that, because you're going to have male and female, but the Kundalini at the base of the spine is very important, and that's where they get the 3 is the true number for 11, and because you got to have the female, the male, and then the Kundalini. And the word 3, THREE, broken down in numerology, which would be reverse numerology, will equal 11. And so that's where it comes down. Well, it'll come to 29, and then you add 9 and 2 together to get the 11, and then it's broken down as far as it can go, which is 11. In sacred numerology, 11 doesn't get broke down.
No, I know. So, okay. So you also say that there's a relation between the Trinity, or the 3 oneness, to 11, because the reverse numerology of 3 is 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fascinating. You talk also a lot about the changes that are coming. Maybe that's a good subject to start with today. What do you see? What do you think will happen this magical year of 2012, based on your own research or findings?
It gets pretty complicated, but from what I understand, and I do not know how this is exactly going to take place, but not just Mother Earth, but everything in the galaxy is fixing to split like cells. Cells split when they're and it's some kind of splitting. I split myself, my personality split when I was going through this, and then of course I was brought back together later on after I got through it. But Mother Earth is she's and this will take place it could happen as early as August 23rd. I'm not real sure when she'll actually start the splitting, but I know humans themselves won't start the splitting process until December 21st is when all that's going to take place, and it'll be it's basically when you activate all your brain and you activate the tree of life, which is the what they call the little brain in the back of the head, the cerebellum. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the little brain. You activate that, it'll start creating uracil, and the connection between like your stem cells and the uracil. The stem cells will come from the pineal gland, which is truthfully the merolla in my last video that I'm talking about, and which is where the process of replication of a child would come from, is the stem cells, the recreation of the body. And once this is all activated inside your head, you will actually create a new reality for yourself. And not only that, but a new body. Everything's just, it's all based off of frequency. It gets pretty complicated. Even I don't understand it all. I can see it, but to explain it to somebody is very difficult.
Yeah, I understand, but I don't think you need to explain everything, Dale. I'm just curious about your vision on what's going to happen. What I see is that indeed there is a kind of division going on between humanity. For instance, today in the Netherlands, it's a national holiday where people celebrate the local dictator, because some people call it the Queen, but she's one of the most wealthiest and most powerful women on this planet, and people still think that she means well. But I will not go into that detail. But I see many people wave with flags and share that her birthday was not really her birthday, it's her mother's birthday, but that doesn't really matter. But a lot of other people know what role she's actually playing. So I see there's a division going on in the Netherlands between people who know a little bit more and people who are totally ignorant.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing happening already. But when you talk about splitting of Mother Earth, of Gaia, what do you mean? Do you mean that there will be two planets, or is it a physical or just an energetical splitting? Can you explain that to me?
That I'm not real sure. I haven't really got down to that, the truth to all that. From like everything that I've broken down, mythologies, I try to follow the mythologies of the world, the different mythologies, and the story basically that it tells is this planet will turn into Venus. Now, if it could be the fact that we're just going to switch over and live on Venus, which Venus is actually inside this planet anyway, because everything's interlocked anyhow. Like the center of our galaxy is also in the center of this planet, the way it works. And the deeper you go inside this planet, the further in you go into this galaxy. And it's all interlocked. So I really couldn't tell you if it's an actual split. As far as I know, I've only ever come across only one other person that's even talking about the planet splitting, and even they don't even know anything about it. But I really haven't got that far into my numbers to totally figure that out. But from what I can understand, some of the conclusions that I come up to, you hear people talking about like Nibiru coming back. Mm-hmm. That would make a lot of sense if Mother Earth split and she started splitting apart, and some went with the split and some stayed behind. You would actually see a planet real close to the planet. It would be the replica of this planet. So you could call that Nibiru if you wanted to. Yeah,
there's a lot of confusion about that subject. What is triggering me is that you say that can I put it in these words? As above, so below, like Hermes Trismegistus said in ancient Greek.
Yeah.
So what you're actually saying is the middle of our solar our star system, our galaxy, is also underneath, so to say. So,
yeah, it really is. I mean, you have to. If you wanted to go to the planet Venus, you to travel in space would take a long time. But to travel within Earth and go through the center of the planet, you could get there in just maybe a couple hours, if that, maybe an hour. is the way that it works. It's a short distance in between on the inside, but on the outside, what you see is like, when you look up, it's kind of like past, present, future kind of thing. You know, Venus is our future, and we can see our future, but we can't get to it. We can only see it unless we learn to go inside ourselves. And everybody who attains enlightenment will all say that there's a pull. As soon as it happens, a pull within themselves, and they pull inside themselves. It's like turning themselves inside out, which has a lot to do with this too, but it's complicated to explain.
Yeah, I understand. And the Venus transition of June 6, some people think that's really a fascinating occurrence, because then we can actually see the planet of Venus moving in front of the sun I call Helios. Is that something also very important in this process, or is it just a physical occurrence?
It's really important, because that's the release of the egg that will the ovum of Mother Earth is what that signifies anyway. And Mother Earth is, in my opinion, fixing to be what you'd call impregnated, and like with that, that's going to be the beginning, the start of this full brain state, which will take place on August 23rd, from where what I've calculated anyway. And the two symbols on the calendar of evolution, the 6th and 7th symbol would represent or Gemini itself would represent the two twins, the ovaries, and that's where the June 5th or June 4th or 5th or whenever that's taking place of Venus going in front of the sun is taking place. So it kind of fits perfect on the calendar for the release of her egg.
In relation to the August 23 you talk about, Dale, that's what you mean, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, this year is fascinating. I made a calculation about the Mayan calendars, and to me the final date is July 14, but we will not go into that. That's not really important at this moment.
Well, no, you're actually that's a very important date actually that you've actually pinpointed there, and you're not like off on that at all. You're actually correct. But there's different stages of this process, and the date that you've actually pinpointed is the point when the two pronucleuses come in contact.
Okay.
So you actually it's the okay, if you look in the book of Daniel. In the Bible, and you break down the first set of numbers that he gives. I can't remember what the first set of numbers he gives. I know the second set of numbers is 1,335, but the first set of numbers that he gives is the particular time that you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, so much information I would like to talk about. I don't know where to start. Let's because I want to make this radio show really easy to understand for listeners. So I'll try not to make it more complicated than radio. When you go to your YouTube channel, they can see a lot of more videos, and you can watch them again and again until you start to understand what you're trying to explain. Can you explain to the listeners? It's an easy question now, Dale. Your name, you call your YouTube channel Batman 72703. Does that have a meaning to you? Where does the name come from?
That was actually just a childhood name that was given to me. I used to run around calling myself Batman, and it kind of stuck with me. A lot of my friends called me Batman, and so I just kept that. But the actual action, the comic book character actually does have a significant meaning, and that's why they keep remaking the Batman series movie over and over again, and it involves the part of the brain, which if you look at, a lot of people calls it a bat, and then some people call it the owl, and it's actually, I call it Merlin's owl. But, and I can't remember what this part of the brain is called, but, if you look at it head on, it looks just like a hoot owl.
Okay, that's the Batman part, and then the ciphers behind that, 72,703. Does that have a meaning to you?
Oh, no, it's just my zip code is all it is here.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, no meaning.
I thought it was a meaning, but I couldn't find it. So okay, great. Yeah. Let's move on to the zodiac, because I've studied the zodiac also, and we work together with Santos Bonacci, and he's also very into the zodiac. But yeah. you start the zodiac a little bit different than what I'm used to with, because mostly the zodiac starts with the sign of Aries. But you start in Aquarius, and you also end in Aquarius. So Aquarius is the alpha and the omega of your numerological approach to the zodiac. Can you explain why Aquarius and not Aries, for instance?
This particular calendar actually will start on the seventh rune on the calendar, the seventh rune. But if you use like the different houses, it's actually the third house, so which is 11. And if you break the calendar up in the 3 666 sections using the Mercedes-Benz symbol, and then you add up each, like if you add up like 7 through 12, it will be 30, and then you add up the next set of numbers, which will be 12 through 18. Let me see. I think it's like it'll come to like 24, something like that, or after it's broken down and everything, and then the last numbers will come to it's like I can't remember what all the numbers come to, but anyway, like if you break it down, it shows you that it comes to the 365 days, showing you that it's like set up for our years, and it actually starts on the 7th rune. So actually the calendar would begin on the 7th rune, but I know it, like the calendars do all start at Aries, but Aries is just like the breath of life would be coming through the mother's womb at that particular time. And until the egg releases, you don't really start till the egg releases. Okay, maybe let's go a step back, because I'm not sure if everybody can follow this. For me, it's at least not very easy. First, you start to divide a full circle into 18 parts based on the ancient alphabet of the runes. 18 parts. Yeah. That's step one. And there are 12 signs in the zodiac. So then you make a combination from 12 to 18 by giving one zodiac sign sometimes 2 ciphers and sometimes 1. Is that, am I explaining it correctly? Yeah. Yeah. All you're doing is like you'll add up 1 through 6. On the count, like there's 18 numbers, like you were saying, on the calendar, and then you add up, you split up the 18 numbers in 666 sections. So the first set of numbers would be 1 through 6, and you add that up, and I believe it comes to 32. And then you add up 7 through 12, or 7 through 12, which would be the next set of 66 numbers, and you add them up and it'll come to 30. But that's it, after you, it'll come to 30, and then the next set would come to I can't remember what it, anyway, it then ends up being 365 after you break, like you would add 30 together with 0, and which would be 3, and then the next set of numbers you would add whatever the two numbers are. It's like 24 or something like that, which the 2 and the 4 would be 6. It'd end up being 365 days. And then so the beginning of the first year would be on the 7th rune, which is the release of the mother's egg.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I'm really horrible unless I have it in front of me where I can explain it a little better.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe this is too difficult to do on a radio show, because I can't follow how you add up to 365. I'm getting confused there. Is this reverse numerology or just normal numerology?
No, it's just normal. I mean, you would add up, 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12. Yeah. It would come to 30. So that would be 3 in numerology.
Yeah.
0 plus 3. And then the next set of numbers would be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I don't remember what that comes to, but at the end result, it would be 6. And then the last would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would, I believe, come to like 23 or 32 or something like that. 23 probably.
21.
Is it 21?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. It is 21. Maybe I am off a little. Maybe it does start up here at 365. I'd have to look at it again. I don't have the calendar in front of me. I'm so like far ahead of that portion of the calendar. I don't even hardly use that part anymore. I've gotten so far ahead of that stuff that I can't even remember half of it. It's hard for me to, unless I have it in front of me, I can't remember what's what hardly anymore.
Yeah. But for the listeners, it might be interesting. What you do, Dale, is you split a full circle of 18 into 3 equal parts, and then you draw the lines between those parts, and then you get exactly the symbol of Mercedes-Benz car.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's from ancient Germany, and that's the rune alphabet, the ancient alphabet of the runes, is also from that part of this planet. And also the sign for the Opel car is also based on one of the signs we find in that ancient alphabet. So it's a kind of lightning, and in the Opel car it's horizontal, but in the alphabet it's more vertical. And even the sign the Nazi Germany used, the SS sign or the swastika, it can also be found in that alphabet. So it's maybe both the German car industry and the warfare in the middle of the previous century used ancient symbols to somehow convince us that it is very important or something. Do you see that? Do you think it's coincidence, or does it have a meaning to you? All these symbols.
These were symbols that were left behind for us to use when the time was right, to just figure out the information to help us evolve is all it is. Everything that people are telling us everything that I've seen on YouTube and the internet and everything is everybody is giving out, like, they're not telling lies because they don't know that they're doing it in the first place, because they really believe that this is taking place or that's taking place or whatever, but in reality it's all reversed, and it's not what they think. That's what reverse numerology is. It's like the reverse side of the real reality. And not that I know exactly how the whole reverse numerology thing works, but there's two realities to everything, and everything's turned upside down in this reality, so it's all mixed up, and they don't, like, they're confusing a lot of people of what's really going on.
Yeah, that's what I see too, and I fully agree with you that things are putting upside down. We say that we are on peace mission, but it's actually warfare. So and people go to the doctor. They call it healthcare, but in fact they're ruining their natural health system, making them slaves to pharmaceutical products. But
exactly.
But it's upside down. But you also go in your videos a little bit further when you actually say the bad guys in many stories are in fact the good guys, and the good guys are the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
For instance,
and they'll use this same process in medication and stuff. Like you'll hear like Nitol will help you get your Z's. Well, the Nitol is the Sig, the 11th rune, and then the Z's is the 18th rune. And that's where they get the Nitol will help you get your Z's. And in reality, it's jacking you up and it's keeping you asleep. That's why you don't want to, certain medication. Your best bet is to stay away from medication and just, I just look at myself as being better. If I'm ill, I just see myself getting better, and that's the process that I use.
Exactly, yeah. And here the same, Dale. Everybody who's becoming a little bit more aware of the forces behind the scene, they know that the whole system is just there for making people dependent, and by doing that, even making more profit. So, do you want to spend money on that system, or do you really want to become healthy? That's the question people should ask. And but it's good it's there because it's waking up people. People who are sick and they have no clue why they are sick, where illness is coming from, and they try to find a means to put that sickness away, then they miss the important message that illness is telling them. So those people will not wake up easily. But the good part is they will get sick again, and then even more worse than before. So finally everybody will wake up and start to understand how the whole process is going. So, to me, healthcare is horrible, and I'm resisting. In the Netherlands, it is compulsory to have an insurance, an health insurance, and I'm resisting against that. And that it's just creating a lot of a nice process, and I am informing people about that. So I'm struggling with the government, and I think I'm winning. So it's really good.
There you go.
Yeah.
I try to just stay away from it all. People tell me, well, did you hear about what so and so said he was going to do and all this? I'm like, no, I don't even want to hear about it. I'd rather just keep it off my conscience, and I just stay away from everybody pretty much, and just keep to myself. Doesn't sound like a fun life, but it helps me.
Now that's also, now you mentioned, it's also something I would like to talk to you about there, because I think you've lost a lot of friends when you start to see all this, because I think it's very, very impossible for most so-called common people to understand what you talk about. Even for me, I think I've done a lot of research, but to me also what you talk about is sometimes really hard to follow. So can you share that with us? How did your environment respond to you when you were actually starting to dig doing this and even lost yourself in all this information?
Well, just like you said, once I came into the information, of course, I was able to understand it. Here's a way to look at it. Once this happens to you, Jesus, in the stories of Jesus, when he was helping or healing the blind and they were able to see, they wasn't able to see, not in the way that most people think in their minds. In the Hindu religion, they call one of the eyes wisdom and the other eye understanding. He wasn't helping them see. He was giving them wisdom and understanding so they could see. That's how, and once I was able to see with this wisdom and understanding, of course I wanted to share it with everybody. And so I did. And when I did, everybody, including my family, they all thought I was crazy. Mm-hmm. They couldn't understand it. Everybody just kind of like shunned me, and nobody wanted to have anything to do with me. They all thought I should be put in a hospital, and no one wanted. I lost every friend I had. I lost every friend except for maybe I would say two, and that they're the only ones that really still come to see me. And you realize you didn't you didn't have all these friends that you thought you had. They were never your friends in the first place, because it's not their fault. They don't understand it. It's not their time. But my whole life got turned upside down. I literally, except for the new friends that I'm slowly starting to make here and there, I lost every friend that I pretty much had, except for 2.
Yeah, and the one that provided a stable base for you and that kept on supporting you through the whole process was, of course, your wife, Dale.
Yes, my wife. I couldn't have done any of this without my wife. And that's the whole process of it all. She, truthfully, if you wanted to get down to it, I wouldn't even know what I know without her, because she's actually my antenna. Mm-hmm. She grounds me to Mother Earth, and through that process, she helped me get through all this, and then with her getting rid of my ego, she helped me get rid of my ego. And in fact, truthfully, if you wanted to get down to it, she's what caused the split in the first place. And once the split started taking place, a lot of people's, friends or wives or family or whatever, something like that's going on, that, dramatic is going on. They don't want to have nothing to do with you. But my wife stuck by my side through all of it, even though half the time I was cussing her out and literally telling her I hated her and all kinds of stuff. That's how bad it got. And she stuck by my side through the whole thing. She knew that wasn't the person I really was, but it was just the ego trying to fight and stay with me. And it's a very, very unusual process. It's so strange. It makes you think about life totally different. I mean, what's really weird is when this was taking place, this schizophrenia process, my dad actually started going through it at the exact same time I did. Okay. Yeah, it's very weird. But the difference between me and my dad was my dad, he actually he could actually see the person that was talking to him. I was never able to see the person that I was talking to. I could feel their presence around me, but I couldn't see them. I could just hear their voice. And, my wife stuck with me all the way through all this, and none of this would have happened without her. She's the antenna to it all.
Yes, remarkable and fantastic at the same time. So, thank you very much for helping him out. Yeah. So, great. Yeah. And is she also into numerology? Can you talk to her about all the remarkable findings that you have, all the meanings of all the numbers and then the coincidences? I could get into the coincidences and nobody would believe it. The only person that's actually going to believe it is her herself, because she was there with me to see it all. And, but yeah, she understands everything that I show her. She can't duplicate it. She wouldn't be able to, show anybody else how it works, but she can understand it, so she works as the antenna, and then I kind of tell her how it all, what I'm being showed, so it works like that. Okay. And when you, for instance, start to add up words and find that, for instance, 2 words add up to 171, can you share that kind of information with her? Is she also delighted to see that it has to mean something? Oh yeah, definitely. She gets pretty excited, and she's about a year ago or a year and a half ago, she started going through the symptoms of everything too, with the headaches and the dreams and the flashes of lights and all that stuff. So she's finally, I don't understand why I went through the process like I did for like 4 years, and then nothing really ever happened to her, not to the extreme that it happened to me. The
she had like mild symptoms compared to what I had, and she never went through like schizophrenia or anything like that, but different little things that she had, but some of the coincidences, yeah, she got to witness firsthand. There's a lot of stuff I can't explain, when I was going through this, I had somebody talking to me through my computer. How that's even possible, I don't even know, but they were leaving me messages, and somehow they knew that I was going to go to these certain different pages. I don't know how they even knew. And they would leave me messages letting me know that they were there. It's so weird. It's kind of like off of the movie The Matrix, where Neo, they talk to him through the computer, and it says in on the computer screen, "Follow the white rabbit." It's kind of like that. You start having stuff like that happening to you, and you don't know what to think. So I'd have to go get her and ask her if she could see it too, and sure enough, she could see it. It's been a very, very strange, weird ride.
Yeah, I can imagine that, but the outcome is really remarkable, because you connect a lot of information, and you show that there is nothing like coincidence. It all has meaning.
Yeah.
And it's pointing towards what we're heading for, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
New way of living and new humanity on this planet. Yeah. Could we talk about the myths from Germany, from North Europe? Did you read all those books about Odin and that stuff?
I've read a lot of the information. Most of it was that I would just get off of the Wikipedia stuff, the information that they would have. That's where I would get most of it. But then, yeah, I read some books of all kinds of different mythologies. Yeah. Yeah, because the videos that you explain all that is really really fascinating, I think. About the two brothers and the things like that, and the two ravens. Yeah. Odin's ravens, and and then you connect it to the left and the right brain. So it's all. I think many of those ancient stories are trying to explain to us how science is really working, but instead of using scientific words, they use animals or humans or whatever. Yeah. But I think it's all just a coded scientific language. Can you agree with that? Exactly. Yeah. Like like Odin's wolves, which is also in the Bible, is the Alpha and the Omega that Revelations and other areas talk about. And that's also the rainbow bridge. If you break down the word rainbow, which will come to 37, and then the word bridge will come to 36, which is on the calendar of evolution, is the Alpha and the Omega. It's just the process of going up in evolution to this full brain state. Exactly, because left brain is 36 and right brain is 37. It's not really right what I'm saying. Yeah, like the two ravens would be the 15th and 16th rune, which would really, in reality, it would be 6 and 7. And the shift is going to be to where you're no longer controlled by the masculine side of the brain. You'll be more in control of the feminine side. So there's going to be like this shift, and then it'll be 76 instead of 67. Okay. Which is what the symbol of Capricorn is a 76. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, great. And then the number 17. I think the number 17 is a very special number. Yeah. For instance, it's the numerological value of the word God. Does 17 also has a special meaning for you, Dale? Yeah, it's just like you said, the exact same thing. You can break the number 17 down in numerology, or the word, 17 in numerology, and it will come to 37. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and which which means perfect. You're finally perfect, like they talk about. You're perfect, like Jesus was perfect, the only perfect man, or like that. That's basically what it means. You'll become perfect. You'll be full brain.
Yeah, because the word perfect also has the numerological value of 37.
Yeah.
So it's that 37 means perfect, and 17 in reverse numerology is 37, so that's also perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I think some people think that it's really kind of easy way to connect everything with everything, because you can also always use this trick of reverse numerology to get your results. And some people think it's a kind of cheating, because you can always find a way to get to the conclusion you want to draw. How do you respond to that, Dale?
I see how what they're saying, and if they use it that way, yeah, I guess you could say that. But you really couldn't. There's no way you could really defend yourself on something like that, because what they say is right. You probably, if you keep reversing or whatever, you're eventually going to get the number that you want, or however. But that's not entirely how I use it,
Mm-hmm. No, I know you don't use it like that. No, but to me it's remarkable, because I think 37 and 17 to me are very important numbers, and to see them connected, it's really remarkable. Just like, for instance, 11, if you take the numerological value of 11, you get 9. So 9 and 11 are also connected. Just like 9/11 is connected with a very special occasion in 2001. So, to me it's not a coincidence. To me it has meaning, but the people who are really critical about this, they cannot follow that kind of logic. So for them it's
exactly. They're still blind, I guess you could say. That's a mean way to put it, but I mean they're still blind. They haven't received wisdom and understanding yet.
Yeah, I think that's true. They cannot understand because they lack the wisdom.
Yeah.
When the wisdom is bigger, that you know that there is no such thing as coincidence. It's just a misunderstood or not yet understood dynamics. That to me is coincidence. But when you understand the dynamics, then it becomes clear, and then you can easily follow that kind of reasoning, and then you can see why there is a connection. Because everything has an energetic value. So when you pronounce a number, it also has an energetic value, and that value can be put into ciphers, or into letters, and those letters have values, and then you add up with a new value. So, and that's why there is a clear connection between the numbers and the spoken values of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's so much to go. For instance, when we talked about Mercedes-Benz, but when you take the numerological value of Mercedes-Benz, you add up at 56, and that is 11. So it's also a mastery number. And I've did a lot of study about the $1 bill on all the things that are on the back side of that bill. And I found in total 11 references to 13. Some people claim that 13 is the number of bad luck. Most of your fellow Americans don't want to stay in a room with number 13, and most of because but to me 13 is the number of creation, 13 faces or 13 tones of creation, and I think
you're exactly right. Yeah.
So if 13 is actually the number of bad luck, it's really creating a lot of bad luck to put so many references 13 on a $1 bill. So that should be a proof to all the unbelievers at this moment that 13 has nothing to do with bad luck, but it's something else. For instance, if people see this, there are 13 layers of the pyramid beneath the eye. The triangle that is on top of the pyramid, there are 13 layers under it.
Yeah.
And when you look at the eagle has 13 leaves in his right foot, so to say, with 13 barrows in fruits in between, and 13 arrows in his other leg, and there are 13 stars and so on. So there are many references to 13, and that of course is not a coincidence. That has been put there deliberately to show the significance of 13.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And what
go ahead. Sorry.
No. Please.
I've had a lot of these, like we got a lot of these Freemason churches, or I call them churches. I don't know what they are. These Freemason temples around here. They're everywhere, and they always got the big G in the front of them, you know, with the symbols. I've been tempted to run up there and put the rest of the word gastrulation right behind it and see what they'd think about that, but I've already been threatened by one of them, so I guess I better not.
But that G stands, some people claim it stands for God, but I think you agree with me that it's more geometry. Yeah. And G is also the 7th letter of the alphabet, so it's also related to 7.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah, so yeah, there's much we can share about this. But it's also maybe nice to know for the listeners is when you calculate the numerological value of Washington, D.C., you get 56, which is 11. When you do the same for London, you get 29, which is also 11. And when you name the original Latin name for the Vatican, it's Vaticanus, that's also 29. So there are 3 cities that are now trying to dominate this world, trying to control it. That's Washington, D.C., London, and Vatican, or the Vaticanus. Washington, D.C. is more the military power. London City is the financial power, and the Vaticanus, the Vatican City, is the religious power. And those 3 power bases are all sovereign states. And they all have the numerological value of 11 in their name. So there must be more to the story than just coincidence.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things that shocks me is that it confuses me that people can't understand at least, you know, some of what I'm saying. I know it gets pretty complicated, but some of the earlier stuff that to me is just, you know, is plain as day, and you can see the connection, but you would, you know, well, I'm sure you know for a fact that there's people out there that just can't see any of it. They're just, that really confuses me. It just doesn't make sense on how blind they are, you know.
Yeah, but it's a kind of a language. A lot of people in the United States don't speak any other foreign language. So I think numerology is just another language, and when you don't speak that language, then you're not able to understand it. It's simple as that. But the moment you start to speak it, yeah, then it becomes more and more, and you are already a very advanced speaker of the language of numerology. So you can make a lot of difficult sentences. You can even write poems in numerology. But most people have no clue what that language is. So to them it's Arabic or Russian or whatever. They have no idea.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. And I try not to. Well, definitely now I don't get frustrated over it anymore because I've been going through it for so long, and I try not to look at people differently, even though sometimes I do because I get so upset with them sometimes. But I usually calm down, and I know it's not their fault, and I try to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think you should, Dale, because what you do is really advanced, Dale. I watched your latest video, and then you add up north, east, south, and west, and also earth, wind, water, and fire, and then the total is 171, and that is exactly the same as the total of the ciphers the numbers 1 up to 18. So for you, it's very clear that is that it has to mean something. But
yeah.
But for people who are not really advanced in this new language, they have no clue what you talk about. So please be a little bit more understanding to those who have not learned to speak this language yet.
I do. I definitely give it my I give it my best. I'm not as good as some people of keeping, control over. I never yell at anybody or but I do get, I'll say I get frustrated, and then I just have to calm down and plus the fact, like, I'm still going through a lot of this process. Well, we all are, and it's a rough process. So, but we'll all get through it.
I think so too. In the end, everybody will be able to speak this language, because it's, to me, ciphers and numbers, they are expressing the core value of energies, and everything is a kind of expression of energies. So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and the more you can learn that code, you can understand how the energies are playing. What you mentioned the film The Matrix, but one of the most appealing way to show the Matrix itself is by that screen where all the ciphers come from up to down. That's the string. So I think the whole of reality is nothing but a string of ciphers, and numerology is just showing a part of that cipher string and showing how those ciphers are influencing our reality day by day.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm slowly starting to get into the binary process of all that stuff too, and involving numbers and that that gets really complicated, and it gets to the point, if a person doesn't understand it, there's really no way you can explain it. There's no way. You're alone. You're by yourself in that, unless you've got an advanced being who knows, which I know there's some out there who do know how all this works, but you're pretty much on your own when you start getting involved in those types of numbers and stuff.
Yeah, but I think it's good too, because you need to, it's like swimming or riding a bicycle. You need to do your own exercises, but when you've done a little bit, then it's good to watch your videos or read a book about it, because then you get a lot of inspiration. But if you have not done it for yourself, then it's no point. What I've done, and I think most people who study numerology, is just write down the alphabet, the ciphers on top of that, and then just every word that you encounter, you just calculate it, and you see what kind of numbers get up you find, and try to see if there's a connection. Write all the names of your friends down and do a calculation. Write all the important names you hear on the news and see what you find. I have a booklet, a small booklet, and I wrote it down with all kinds of numbers, and I'm quite sure you did the same, Dale. So I think that's the only way to study numerology, is just by writing down all the numbers of all the words, and then see what kind of numbers we get.
Yeah, you can definitely find a connection. I've done it. Definitely that's how I. I can't say that's how I started off. I kind of had help when I started off, but so I guess I had a unfair advantage in the beginning. But actually, if you wanted to get into it, I can look back through all my old information when I first started going through this, and I don't even remember hardly any of it. I don't remember ever writing down half that stuff. It was like I was in a trance. I don't remember it. It's so weird. I go through my old information and I find stuff in there and I'm like, holy, cow, how did I know that? I don't even remember that. It's very weird. It's like I was never there in the first place.
Yeah, or a subconscious part of you took over, or a part that is now subconscious.
Yeah.
But all the information came out of you. But yeah, it's the iceberg metaphor. Just the top of the iceberg we're aware of, and everything that is below sea level, under the water, we have no clue what is all there. But that's maybe 99% of all our knowledge is underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's it has been great to talk to you, Dale. It's a subject that is more can be better presented on television, and I really hope that one day we have a television station where we can show all this on on a nice screen with a lot of visuals so that we can make it more easy to understand, because if you only have audio, it's a little bit difficult. But for the people who listen to this, if you go to pateo.nl and you click on Pateo Academia, that's on the top of that web page, and then you'll find a list of names, and somewhere in the middle is the name of our guest today, and you'll find his YouTube channel also there. Just click on it and then you'll find all his videos. If you've not seen one of these videos, I recommend you to start with the most ancient one you can find, because if you start with the more recent ones, then you have no clue what Dale is talking about.
Definitely true. You have to start at the beginning.
Yeah, but then you gradually build it up. When your latest video, you already put all the numbers there and the whole calendar and all the information. And if you cannot relate to that, then it's not easy to understand the video. So I think people should start at the beginning, see where you started your own process of sharing information, and step by step you can follow it. And for those who want to have some aid, if you click on the word numerology behind your name, then you find a paper we both wrote, and some information we talked about in this radio talk show is also there. So if you want to find out more, then you can go there, and people can also find a way how to contact you. I think so, from your own YouTube channel. Okay, thank you very much, Dale, for being my guest in this radio broadcast. It will also be online. I will send you the link so they can share it to people who want to listen to this. The next radio talk show will be with a guest from New Zealand. His name is Troy McLennan, and we will talk about the planet of Saturn, and especially about the Saturn death cult. So hope that you listen again on May the 7th. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
Even though I can't explain, more than a dream that you are reaching, more than a laugh that shadows all the pain. A special meaning in the thorn of dreams, in the garden where a thought can blind me. 'Cause I am lost here, where it never gleams, where I found that I screamed so blindly. Until I rise up, fall down. Is this the reason that I can't feel the ground? Am I waiting for my tomorrow, or should I say goodbye? Well, am I walking with a purpose? 'Cause I feel the same. And as I wait for my dreams to surface, as I wait I'm drowning in the rain. Just when I thought that it was over, I lost my grip and I hit the wall. A simple dream that I tripped